and K on the stage. Managing partner, Think You Wait, that is our moderator, Shri Ghanshyam Ahoja. Please welcome founder and CEO, Rainmaker SG, Mr. Mario. CEO, Immersia AI and Bharatiya GPT, Mr. R. Ramakrishnan. And I would like to call on the stage EC member, convener IT and president and founder, Accent Business Solution, Mr. Ajay Kapoor. Before starting the panel discussion, we have the extreme guest on the panel on the dais with us. So may I request to Mr. Ajay Kapoor to please welcome to the extreme dignitaries on the stage with the ceremonial shawl. I request to Mr. Ajay to please welcome with the ceremonial shawl to our first dignitary, Shri Karthikeyan K, co-founder and CTO from Credit B. Only with the shawl. Yes. Good morning and welcome, sir. Once again, I request to Mr. Kapoor to please welcome with the ceremonial shawl to our next extreme guest, Shri Ghanshyam Ahoja, managing partner from Think You Wait. On the stage, please. Welcome, sir. Once again, I request to Mr. Kapoor to please welcome founder and CEO from Rainmaker SG, Mr. Mario, with a ceremonial shawl on the stage, please. Welcome, sir. Again, I request to Mr. Ajay Kapoor to please welcome and felicitate with the ceremonial shawl to our CEO, Immersia AI and Bharatiya GPT, R. Ramakrishnan on the stage. Thank you so much and please have a seat. As I discussed before, today's topic is AR for business, bubble, hype, and sustainable advantage. Right now, I am handovering mic to Mr. Ajay Kapoor. Please give it a huge round of applause and panel discussion has begun. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. That was nice and crisp, Ankita. Good morning and a very warm welcome to all of you. It's truly heartening to see such a distinguished and diverse audience here today. Some policymakers, industry leaders, entrepreneurs, startups, academicians, and students, all gathered to discuss a question that is shaping the future of business and the world. So artificial intelligence, is it a bubble? Is it a hype? Or is it long-term sustainable advantage? For decades, technology was all about automation. Today, AI is about augmentation of human thinking, decision-making, and creativity. But let's be honest, there is genuine noise around AI. So it's important today to separate hard lines from the hard outcomes. Here is the reality. AI is already spotting fraud, medical anomalies, cyber threats, even before humans realize something is wrong. Not faster than humans, actually earlier than humans. Is that a hype? We will discuss. Automation, as you all know, replaced hands. AI is not about hands. AI is replacing hesitation. What does that mean? I'm sure you're looking forward to explore that in this session too. For the first time in history, Productivity is no longer proportional to headcount. One person empowered with AI can outperform 10 people without it. The real competitive advantage today is no longer how fast you execute. It is how fast your organization learns, adapts, and improves using AI. And this is why I personally feel AI is no longer a technology conversation. It's a leadership conversation. For Indian enterprises in particular, AI represents a once-in-a-generation opportunity, a move from cost arbitrage to capability leadership, from service delivery to solution creation, and from execution to intellectual property ownership. Which brings me now to this forum, Vidarbha and Advantage Vidarbha. For a long time, Vidarbha was seen as a region of potential. Today, through platforms like Advantage Vidarbha, it is becoming a region of participation and performance. This transformation is rooted in the visionary leadership of stalwarts like Nitin Gadkariji and Devendra Fadnavis, whose belief is very clear: development must be inclusive, distributed, and future-ready, not confined only to a few select. This is where I believe that AI fits in perfectly into the vision of everyone. Why? Because AI democratizes opportunities. Innovation no longer needs a PIN code. It needs capability, and capability can be developed right here. This is why regions like Vidarbha are now not late to the AI journey. They are arriving at exactly the right time. Across the world, companies using AI at scale are already seeing tangible outcomes. 15 to 30%, and sometimes a lot more cost efficiencies, faster go-to-markets, sharper data-driven decisions. Is this hype? I'm sure Ghanshyam will explore that. But there is a cautionary note. The biggest risk today is not adopting AI too fast. The biggest risk is waiting too long. At the same time, AI rewards the bold, but it is also punishing the careless. It demands responsibility, governance, human judgment, along with ambition. Today's panel has luminaries across the world. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for all being here.
Apple photos, videos, right? Some conversations, and then extrapolate it and build larger data sets. Of course, they're not much enough to build a LLM, but you can definitely build a small custom model, SLMs. So based on those nuanced voices, language, knowledge corpus, you build it and train that model. Yeah.
Thank you. I hope you understood the reality. What he's talking here is, even though it might look hype globally, but आप locally क्या कर सकते हो for your own use case. इन्होंने अपना use case घर से start किया, right? From home to everything local about India and about Indian history, about Indian heritage is what you're converting into how AI can be immortal now. You're creating legacy for the future for thousands of years. Thank you, Rama. Mario is from Singapore. By the way, round of applause for our guest from Singapore. When I met Mario recently, 6-7 months back, as a coach, he started as coach from Singapore. He was appointed as a coach for our company, and that's how I got to know. First thing to tell you about him, I don't think any one of us also would have done this. He told me that he did his honeymoon in India 22, 23 years back, 3 weeks in India, right from autos to buses to everywhere he has visited with his wife. That much he knows about India. Next surprise I got to know, he said, Ghanshyam, till 2018, I was not knowing anything about AI. He comes from the industrial background. He will talk about it. On one day, 2018-19, he decided I'm no more interested in SMRT, Metro, which is what he was working for, and others. He was sitting with a blank paper, blockchain, AI, and sustainability. So he chose AI. After choosing, he asked himself, he said, I don't know ABC of AI. So that's why it's a great example for you sitting in front of you, coming from industrial background. And he decided, how do I become an AI expert? So I would call him, he's a self-taught AI expert. He sat, he learned his AI, and within 1-2 years, you created 270 videos. Why don't you tell about how do you become from zero, I would say from 0 to 1 or 0 to 10 now in AI, please.
Thank you. Yeah, let me explain. So in 2018, I worked for the public transport operator in Singapore, and I was part of their senior leadership team. Now they got nationalized, and I didn't want to work for the government. So I decided to do something else and reinvent myself. And indeed, I wrote 3 terms on a white piece of paper, and one was AI, and I chose AI. Remember, ChatGPT was not available at that time. So it was a big gamble on my end. Making that choice was easy, but becoming an expert in AI at that time was not so easy because there was nothing in the press. So I watched on YouTube lots of videos, and by the way, also lots of videos from Indian universities specializing in AI. And I found myself mastering the subject after a few months. But then I had a problem because my credentials, my CV, there was no AI on it. So I had to find a way to build credentials. And that's why I started recording videos. On my YouTube channel, you can see them. It's about 270 videos. And these are primitive videos. I'm on a whiteboard explaining AI from A to Z. And about 40 videos in, I got a call from Deloitte. And Deloitte asked me to make a commercial version. And that's how I entered into the AI space, where currently I teach AI at the National University in Singapore. And I work as a consultant and coach for a Boston Consulting Group, where I help SMEs with digital growth and AI adoption. So that's my story.
So the inspiration here is, even if you don't know a topic, anything, you can get started if you have passion. Imagine he had his own videos, which was seen by Deloitte. And having worked with Deloitte previously, I can understand. You can imagine Deloitte, you think that they are a global organization having tons of knowledge on AI. Still, they looked at it and said, maybe there might be some businessman in Deloitte saying that, why are you selling it free? Exactly. That's what Deloitte said, why are you selling it free? Let's sell it together. And that's how Deloitte came in. So question to you, Mario. You said it's a bubble or hype. You're more inclined towards it's bubble or hype. Please do tell audience, why do you feel so?
Well, it depends on how you look at it, right? If you look at the AI tools themselves, the LLMs, and anybody of us using it on a day-to-day basis, it's not hype, it's reality. I use Claude, I use Cursor, I'm coding. I had no experience coding. Now I code 5,000, 10,000 lines. So yes, that's not hype. That is reality. Where I think the issue is, and what I see in my day-to-day activities is that adoption of AI by SMEs and enterprises doesn't go so well. It doesn't go so well because all these AI tools are not perfect. Yeah, today you see people releasing tools when they're 70% working, they already release. Yeah. Now when you talk about agent and autonomous agent, that's a problem. An enterprise doesn't want an autonomous agent. An enterprise wants predictability, right? And I see in a lot of enterprises that people struggle to get AI implemented. So the way I see this, I build workflows. I don't use the AI tools. My AI tools are embedded in a workflow. And if you have a workflow of 100 nodes, there's maybe 3 AI nodes in there. And I can tell you the less AI is in the workflow, the better it works. Yeah. So that's why I say, you know, on the enterprise side, I think there's a bit hype.
Great. Thank you. So to reiterate the point what Mario was just saying, that processes and data is what companies use. Workflows and tasks is what we do work from, and we deliver output from using tasks. So his philosophy is focus on workflow, make it more intelligent workflow using AI, rather than expecting everything to be done by AI. That's, if I got it correctly, right? Coming to our friend Karthik, I just met him first time in my life yesterday and got to know he also has been to Singapore. So Karthik, please tell about yourself briefly and about your company. And then we'll talk about what you said. It's more of a reality with some froth.
Yeah, very good morning to all of you. Right. So as Gyansham was telling, I spent almost 10 years of my youth, right, as in I did my undergrad and masters in NUS, right, in Singapore. So that's how the computing and the technology foundational layers were built up over there, right? So post that, actually, I joined a startup again way back in the early 2000s, which was started out of the NUS college itself, and we had acquired a company in India, right? So that's when early 2000, the reverse brain drain happened, and I came back to India to manage the setup here. So I used to tell my friends, I've got an on-site deployment from Singapore to India, right? Way back in 2002, this was. So post that, I was in the telecommunication layer, etc., and all those things. But always this urge to basically do some, entrepreneurship role was always there, because whenever I used to see my parents and when I used to see my grandparents, etc., that blood used to boil that, there should be some entrepreneurship thing that we need to do. And back in 2015, that finally came to fruit, and 3 of my friends, we started this company called Credit Bee, right? Where actually it was called Crazy Bee, where we started basically providing financial services to students. Once the students graduated, they wanted the further financial assistance, and we were not able to provide to them. So we kind of launched something called Credit Bee, right? Internal project name was called Young Professionals, because they were young professionals. And what we had done in 2 years across that time, we had done in 2 months with a new product that we launched called Credit Bee, right? Way back in 2016, this is, right? Now what happens is that we provide loans and other financial services to customers across 18,000 to 19,000 pin codes of India, right? As in that's pretty much a pan-India service across tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4 cities. My customers include Kirana shop owners who basically can download the app in their Kirana shop, do their KYC, etc., and get the working capital loan that they need. If they have to go to a bank, they would waste 2 days maybe of their business, right? Which is very much valuable to them. So all of these things, at scale, when you look at it, it's almost 10 lakh customers every month that I'm giving loans through the platform, right? So as Gyansham was telling, right, coming to the next aspect, right, AI, right, as in so we would actually break this into, you have to break this into, like when Jesus Christ was born, as in BC and AC kind of thing, right? So like that, we have the ChatGPT release is what I would say the dividing line is, right? So previous to that, we always had AI, as an AI is an old field, as in it was actually been there for 40 to 50 years. Computer vision was what we used to call it way back in 98 and 2000 when we done computer vision, etc., right? But traditionally, it has been more of trained models, right? You have a data set, you do your training on that data set, and then you basically given some alternate data and then see what the model gives out, right? That was what used to be called AI at that time, right? Pre-ChatGPT era, right? So using these models, basically these are called statistical models or regression models, etc., right? You can basically derive fixed type of inputs, very, very concise, very strongly basically trained output, right, which tells you that the number, this is what the prediction will be, right, statistically very accurate. So what ChatGPT did is that basically they kind of the models that GPT and all, etc., we call them large foundation models because they are really, really large, right? They have taken the entire data of a lot of basically sections of the internet, etc., right, and brought in a generalized data set which can basically interpret the data on varied data inputs. So that is where it's called a pre-trained model to some extent, right, which can give you output basically to a good extent, right, but it's not as accurate as traditional models, right. So this is where I would say that the input data, the data basically quality finally decides what and how your model works out, right, both in the old model and even the new model, right. So this is where the actual truth is. Now the hype and the froth is that basically people believe that AI will do everything, right. It does everything as long as you can provide it with the proper data and the proper output what you need to expect, right. You cannot expect saying that, okay, for example, just to give you an idea, I have 300 developers in my organization who are doing development, right. I cannot say that let's remove 20% or 30% of them and put AI. It doesn't work like that. So where that is going on is augmenting the output, the efficiencies are improving, and aspects of things like nobody likes to do testing code, right, as an aspects where that can be auto-generated. So that way 20% of the time that developers would spend to write testing code goes off, and then they can focus on the core business aspects. So idea is that it is getting more and more refined, right, as in you start boiling, let's say, kheer or that milk kova that you make, right? You boil milk and the water evaporates and the milk becomes more and more sweet, right? It gets condensed. So the idea is that using AI, you move away all the basically the unwanted stuff into and maybe the stuff that is not interesting to people who are to the AI, and let the people do the more interesting and the more tastier stuff. That is one strategy that we are doing, right? Multiple other strategies, and I think you want me to continue?
Yeah, we can talk about that.
Yeah, we can talk, right? Yeah.
So I think to summarize the 2 points what you mentioned for everybody's understanding, clear understanding is, number one, data quality still remains the most important thing when you apply in SME or enterprise. If you have a wrong data, what we used to call, garbage in, garbage out, that will still continue. You will get wrong answers. And second thing is, use AI to improve the overall productivity for your existing employees so that 70% mundane work can be done by AI, but 30% intelligent work, if I may call it, right? Where human beings are intelligent in exception handling, having, gut feel, having kind of a real decision-making power is where you should use. And of course, I don't have any doubt when he said small froth, he's from Bangalore. Bangaloreans know how to drink beer very well, having limited froth. So reality is high and froth is limited. So that's what is coming from our Bangalore friend. One more question before I go to the other panelists. What has changed? You mentioned, one is you mentioned coding level. I was telling, founder was telling me, he sold his company last year and he built a new company with 1/4 of the employees. Then I said, how? He said, first what I did is, when I had more number of people, I asked them to do coding And in 3 months, if somebody didn't use 70% of AI in coding, I fired him. If somebody has used up to 30%, I kept him. Next 3 months, I saw how much quality work and more productive amount of code they are doing. I have continued with less, and now I have 15% people only. Is it real?
Yeah, I think it's so okay. This is a perennial question that at our executive meetings that we have, right? So it is true to some extent, right? So we'll have to again divide this into two, right? One is called greenfield, one is called brownfield, right? As in when you have greenfield development is where you are starting from scratch, right? And brownfield is when you have already built your house, etc., and then you need to refurbish your house, right? I think people understand how difficult it is. When you have a new plan, you can definitely put in all your thoughts and processes, etc., and build out your house as you want it. But let's say you have built your house 10 years back, and now you want to refurbish your house, you have a lot of limitations, right? As in, that is how you'll have to look at it. So, as Gyansham was telling, when you're starting fresh and when you're starting newly, AI definitely can do 70 to 50 plus percentage, 70 percentages when you're really pushing it, right? So what happens is that your first product, basically your MVP product or your POC product that you need to do, you can really accelerate it, maybe 5x or 10x, right, is what I would say. So just to give you an example, when we were launching Credit B, I sat for basically 3 months, basically, right, running 18 to 20 hours a day, right? I used to sleep 4 hours a day, right? And for 3 months, my team and me used to work basically 20 hours a day, 7 days a week, not 6 days or not 5 days, 7 days a week, right? And we used to run it for 3 months to launch the product, right? As in where you have to talk to the bank, you have to basically talk to CIBIL, you have to run your risk models, blah, 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 etc., all those things. If I had to do the same thing now, I can do it within a week to 2 weeks with the same thing, because a greenfield development is always easier that way, right? A brownfield development is where, as I said, as in aapka house, you have built your house, now you are constrained with a lot of limitations and all those things. So a lot of technology, a lot of design patterns, a lot of inherences are there. As in when you moved to your house, your pipe was not working, water was not coming. Everybody faces the issue in the house, right? Water doesn't flow in some places very well. Then you do some plumbing work and the plumber will do something to make the water come and go away, right? After 2 years, you'll find out that that's an issue there, right? So similar to that, in a brownfield thing, you are constrained by what you have. So over there, I would say 10, 20% to 30% you can definitely do. But the idea is that basically software is not a physical asset, right? It's a virtual asset, right? So
it helps you do something, outcome based.
Yeah. So you can always change it, as in it's a morph. You can morph it, right? So the idea is that you start again working on the layers of software which is not as per the AI designs or AI principles and move it towards that. So that's how you can move towards that. Is what.
And again, on a lighter note, AI, I forced you to get married, right? So his mother, he was just telling, just one joke.
Yeah. It's a long story. Maybe so offline we can talk about it.
So hence you have a reality at home because of AI.
Yeah.
So talking about one quick point, Mario, before I come to you, Rama. Mario, I'll give you 5-6 parameters about Nagpur, and then I'll ask you a real question. Nagpur is an orange city, orange growing, logistic play, mining, tourism. These are the key factors. Knowing this, and I know this first time for you in Nagpur, you had been to many places in India. If you know these 4-5 parameters, I'm feeding data to you now. Feeding data to you about Nagpur. How do you think Nagpur can take advantage of these localized parameters and become real into AI something?
Yeah, I think GCC is definitely a good thing here in Nagpur. So, and the second thing, to ride the wave of AI, it would be great if you have a language model for your language. So try to build a language model for your language, and that will provide value to you, definitely.
So be localized.
Localized.
Yeah. So I think over to you. Rama.
Yeah.
Now, maybe if you can share with them, like you mentioned that you have a 250 employee company, right? So what are the real things you are doing, metaverse and others? If you can share with them the reality of and
Correct.
how this is used for corporate. How are you getting money out of it, basically?
Absolutely.
Really?
But before that, shall I take a couple of minutes on bubble hype? sustainable. So the initial conversation I just mentioned, AI can be looked as a layered cake, 4 or 5 layers typically, and I'll be very sort of foundational in saying this. The foundational first layer is the infrastructure layer, GPUs and AI infrastructure. Which is the company that comes to our mind? GPUs, NVIDIA, right? So the most valued company, $4.5 to $5 trillion is the swing that it had in the last 1 month with 130 billion revenue, 70 billion in net profits. A AI company, 130 billion, half of that is the net profit, right? It's not a cash burning company. So it's sustainable in that sense. And I'm coming to the specific topic, right? It is profitable, sustainable, looks sustainable today. But in the next 5 years, what is going to happen? In the next 5 years, the edge computing is going to happen for AI. You won't need the, billion-dollar guzzling GPUs. You can do edge computing of AI. So is it going to be that sustainable? We need to figure out. The second layer is the foundational large language model layers. Which are the foundational large language models? Can we have little interaction, guys? OpenAI. On the closed source, you have OpenAI. And in the open source, you have Llama, Mistral, Claude, Anthropic. These are foundational large language models. What is the revenue model right now? ChatGPT has a revenue model, but others also have, but we need to see how sustainable they are. To give a number, OpenAI's revenues are this year estimated to be $13 billion. 13 billion this year, this calendar year. What is the profit? Negative $8 billion. And what are they anticipating? Next year they want to go public with $1 trillion in valuation. Correct? So figure out. So what we are doing is trying to see all the 4 layers: sustainable, hype, bubble. So we can all take a call in a very simple metric. The third layer is a fine-tuned or a pre-trained or a fine-tuned model. So the foundational model you pre-train and fine-tune to certain data sets. We talked about data. So specific to the data. So that's where Bharati GPT comes in. That's where Sarvam comes in. Perplexity comes in. So you train that model to a specific use case. That is where it gets interesting, guys. The cake gets interesting on a use case basis. So is it a bubble hype reality? It depends upon which model which sector you are going to focus on. Where is the revenue going to come from? And the first layer is the application layer. You build an application on the top of a LLM. It could be SLM, it could be use case. What are some of the examples? Canva. We use Canva for presentations. So it is also an application layer. Cursor, Jasper, right? Pika.art, tons of them. Coming to the LLM layer, do you know how many LLMs, SLMs are there today? Just a number, just throw a number. 1.8 million SLMs, LLMs are out there in the Hugging Face repository. Right? So this is how the AI layer looks like. This is how, and coming to the specific thing on the use case, India is the largest use case with 1.5 billion population, largest use case capital, and therefore all global companies are looking at India as a use case capital of the world. The second part of the question is a specific question you asked. Where do we make money? What do we do?
What is the real business AI is giving you? Because
correct.
We might think about avatars or
absolutely
how
right.
Does it really
absolutely
work?
Right. So the couple of things that we are working on is we've already built and deployed is education. Number one is education. Very simple. I'll come with a simple thing. Imagine Alan Turing teaching AI in the classrooms. Right? Alan Turing is considered the father of AI, John McCarthy, Grace Hopper, teaching AI, how they are teaching in a conversational manner, right? The second thing that, and you can extend it to a bunch of things, entrepreneurship taught by Steve Jobs, Indian knowledge systems taught by, let's say, Swami Vivekananda and the Rishis, avatars trained on their data set. The second use case that we are working on is, we've already built these models out there and they are there on the Play Store and on the web. used by at least 100,000 people. The second thing is domain-specific SLMs, small language model. For example, Ayurveda, right? We still feel Ayurveda, allopathy is better than Ayurveda, and some may differ, Ayurveda better than allopathy. So what if I can get a prescription, right? A home prescription without a side effect on a click of a button, right? But it is rooted in a manuscript, right? There is Shushruta Samhita, Charaka Samhita, Ashtanga Rhythm. I can keep talking about it, what I've learned in the last 3 years. And it is rooted in a shlok. You understand the shlok, you understand the modern context, you understand what our grandmas have been saying, right? So that is the other thing that we are doing. And we are similarly building at least 100 SLM focused on specific use case for education, for citizens, for research, for culture integration, for tourism, and everything is token based. The lowest metric in which you charge is a token based response, right, in some of them, and a monthly subscription basis in some of them.
So just to give you a simple analogy, सब लोगों को शायद टेक्निकल कई बार नहीं समझता है, LLM, SLM, right? Imagine जो companies हैं, रोड बना लिया उन्होंने, Nvidia and others, infrastructure layer is already there, right? उसके ऊपर आपको कार चलाना है, ट्रक चलाना है, या फिर आपको ड्राइवरलेस कार चलाना है उसी रोड पे. These are the applications. And what SLM Rama is talking about, SLM can be very specific to some vertical, some function, some geography, some
Absolutely.
language,
Beautiful.
right? आप अपनी लैंग्वेज में या फिर आप अपनी इंडस्ट्री के लिए बना सकते हैं कुछ ना कुछ जो आगे चल के वो डेटा AI में काम में आएगा, right?
Correct, absolutely right.
सिंपल शुद्ध भाषा में अगर बोले.
Absolutely. And that is where the opportunity is. That is a use case, that is a sector, that is a domain. It is also called vertical GPTs or vertical SLMs.
Yeah. I know, Mario, you have a different opinion about number of LLMs. You keep asking that question typically, right? What's your view? Very limited LLMs.
Maybe, well, Gen AI, let me give you 4 choices here. Who thinks there's more than 100 applications for Gen AI? That's one. Who thinks it's between 50 and 100? Who thinks it's between 20 and 50? And who thinks it's less than 20? So let's start with less than 20. Who think it's less than 20?
Less than 20 agentic AI applications, you're saying, or LLMs?
Gen AI in general.
Gen AI agents, you're saying.
Okay, 20 to 50.
Yeah. थोड़ा
Okay.
लंबा हाथ ऊपर करें.
50 to 100?
50 to 100.
More than 100? Oh, wow.
So you have more people saying more than 100.
Well, it's less than 20.
Less than?
Less than 20.
Why do you say so? Maybe if you can.
Because the majority of Gen AI applications are ChatGPT wrappers.
Wrappers.
So it's ChatGPT with some nice layer above it. So all the softwares that you use that add the AI features, most of them are ChatGPT wrappers.
So what you're saying is today, as of today, that's the reality, that others are wrappers of these ChatGPT or OpenAI.
Well, the features of a large language model are fixed. Yeah? Models are not intelligent. They do not think. And in terms of language model, we are at the end of the road. Yeah? So you will see that the increase from ChatGPT 5 to 5.1, 5.2, these are only marginal improvements because we reached the end of the road of LLMs. So for real intelligence, something else has got to happen. Yeah? Let me give you the example of the self-driving cars. I have a daughter, and she's 20 now, and she got her driver's license. She was allowed in Belgium to drive the car after taking 20 hours of class. You put her in a Toyota, she can drive the Toyota. You put her in a Mazda, she can drive the Mazda, right? No big deal. Look at autonomous cars, self-driving intelligence. Millions of hours have already been put there, and we're still not there at level 5. Just keep that in perspective.
So it's human beings which give mind to these models. If you have any contradictory or
I would
complementing
like to
point.
little contradict.
Yes, interesting.
What Mario said.
मसाला चाहिए हमको.
So it's a crossfire, guys. So the last count that I saw, which I told you on the Hugging Face repositories, 1.8 million what? It is LLMs, SLMs, foundational, I talked about 5 layers, foundational LLMs like OpenAI, Llama, Mistral, and their family, of course. When you say Mistral 1, 2, 3, when you say Mistral 3, for example, Ministral, the Mistral 3 is called Ministral. I'll talk about basics also and techie also because it's a mixed crowd here. So Ministral 3, the Mistral family LLMs, foundational LLMs, has 3 billion parameter, 8 billion parameter, 20 billion parameter, 27 billion parameter. So this makes 4 or 5 in count. And this is how it's counted. So it's 1.8 million. It also has pre-trained fine-tuned model on the top of Minstrel. For example, Sarvam AI is pre-trained fine-tuned with Indian languages on the Minstrel family of models. So these are not ChatGPT wrappers. These are foundational LLMs. These are pre-trained fine-tuned LLMs. But yes, there are also ChatGPT wrappers which are not in Hugging Face. You can't have ChatGPT wrappers on the Hugging Face. What you do is you just have a UI layer, and of course there are many of them. I agree. So that's my quick thought on what Mario said.
So quickly on the last point before we open it to audience, Ajay, we have time for three. We have time. Okay. So one important thing, practical point I want you to share with our audience. If you had to tell how workflow has become intelligent after AI, real example if you can share with them कि workflow में हम लोग पहले यहाँ से यहाँ तक ये ABC task करते थे, because of AI now workflow has become intelligent so that they can take away.
Yeah. So, okay, I was talking to Gyanshan also yesterday, and generally I speak this widely also, right? So the idea is that basically as an organization, what we have done is that basically we have to look at the cost centers, right? As in where is the money that is being spent the most? And that is what we targeted, right? As in, so we started this almost 2.5 years back, right? And the last 1.5 years is where we have been executing on it, and we have had a good amount of success in quite a bit of these things. So let me just talk to you about the 5 tracks, right? As in what we are targeting. One is as I already talked to you about, the development layer, right? As in where basically we are empowering all the basically developers and executing this faster. So a mix of tools based on the developer capability, right, is what it is. As in, for example, we provide slightly more easier tools like Cursor and Copilot to the junior developers so that they can understand that and then move on to the slightly more difficult tools, which are something like Klein or RuCode, where you have to start, giving some more inputs. And then finally we open up into something called Claude Code, where you have to really work on it, right? As in, this is very simple, as in like Mario was telling, right? It's like moving from, you are driving from a Maruti, let's say Alto, to basically something like a more powerful car like an automatic, let's say XUVs, whatever, which is more powerful, right? And then the final level is basically an F1 car. As in, in an F1 car, you have practically around 250 into 10, probably 2,500 configurations that somebody can do in that one lap, right? Which is around 2 minutes. So that is the extent of this thing that is there, and each of these tools have these different complexities. So idea is that you need to be able to do it and give the appropriate tool, the appropriate person with the appropriate knowledge and experience, so that he can get the best out of it, right? This is one thing. This is one track, right? The second, all 4 of them, rest of them are all operational aspects, right? Where they bring in efficiencies into the organization, right? For example, the lowest layer is text-based classification and text-based basically response generation. So since we deal with a large amount of customers, we get 8,000 to somewhere around 5,000 to 8,000 emails every day, right? Now you imagine that all of them have to be responded to within the TAT that we have, right? So with that, for that, what we have done is we have done classification and we have done response generation and all those things. And this is where you have to separate the hype from this thing, right? If you tell hype means that you can assume that all 8,000 will be auto-responded by the LLMs. No, right? We had to work for 1.5 years, basically creating data sets, basically saying that for this email, this is what the category is, and this is what the response is. We had to generate a data set of 10,000 emails manually. You have to look at them, you have to read them, you have to classify them, check, recheck whether it is correct, not correct, put it through the models, why the model is not working, giving this response, whereas this model is giving it, blah, 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 right? It's a very time-consuming, iterative process. And it is like basically building, as in you have a kid, you spend time on it, no? A baby is there, as in newly born baby, you spend 15 hours to 20 hours looking after the baby, right? So like that, we have to look at it, and that is where we are now, that 40% to 50% of the emails are auto-responded, right? The next 50% will take even longer. But this is something that you have to invest in, because you will finally reach a place where you have that operational efficiency doesn't matter. When now I'm getting 8,000 emails, let's say 5 years down the road when I'm getting 80,000 emails, my same amount of workforce will basically do that, right? Model will work like that. That is with respect to email. I think coding we have talked. We have this audio transcription, right? As in the calling when we happens, when we have to basically do the transcription, and then we start seeing as in whether the customer is talked to nicely, what is the sentiment analysis, what is the customer saying, and based on that we generate insights. We understand if the customer is basically lying or trying to basically really trying to give back. Customer behavior, right? Those are things. And then we have basically the basically risk underwriting, right? As in bank statements we get, etc., and all of that. As in we try to understand which is the salary statement that is there of the bank statement, whether customer has gambled, put some money in gambling apps or stuff like that, and other things, right? This is one thing. Final thing is voice, where we are doing a voice-to-voice calling, and basically, and we have voice-to-text and text-to-voice, and voice-to-voice directly also. These are some of the things. So 5 layers is what it is. It's not easy. It is a lot of dedicated effort and etc. So this is where the hype and this thing separates, right?
From coding infrastructure to all that.
Yeah.
So thanks. I think different examples of a tech company, a lot of techie startups here. Just a simple example. I have been part of. आपको शुद्ध भाषा में समझाऊंगा कि क्या फर्क पड़ा है अभी. There is something called enterprise search. आपका कंपनी का डेटा होता है. हमने काम किया एक फार्मा कंपनी के लिए. To give you real example, imagine paracetamol जो हम खरीदते हैं, क्रोसिन, राइट? क्रोसिन आपको पूरी इंडिया में बिकती है. हर एक स्टेट का एक प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर है. इंटरप्राइज सर्च क्या करता है? क्रोसिन में सपोज एक स्टेट में बिकॉज ऑफ वेदर कंडीशन नॉर्थ ईस्ट में रैशेस आ रहे हैं बच्चों को, दैट बिकम्स अ मेडिकल इंक्वायरी और एडवर्स इवेंट. अगर वहां पे किसी ने उसका जवाब दे दिया है, मैं मैनेजर हूं महाराष्ट्र का, राइट? इफ आई गेट दैट सेम इंक्वायरी, इफ दैट आंसर इज ऑलरेडी देयर, व्हाट एआई और मशीन लर्निंग प्रीवियसली यूज्ड टू डू, लुक फॉर दैट एग्जांपल. अगर सेम आंसर है तो आई विल गिव सेम आंसर, बट स्टिल ह्यूमन इन द लूप. In this case, pharma company है, human in the loop has to decide, but I no need to think. I already have answer given by somebody, not from the chat GPT, from my own company. How agentic AI अभी उसमें help करेगा कि as long as our model says that this is a correct answer many times we have given, agentic AI में अब हमारा customer जो पूछेगा पैरासिटामोल में मुझे बच्चे को 13 से 15 साल ये रैशेस हो रहे हैं, तो agentic AI the bot will automatically respond. I hope you got the. So this is the reality which is happening. Earlier it could have been a kind of a hype. Mario, any specific example you can share with them about intelligent document management or intelligent workflow management with AI and without AI?
Yeah, thank you. I've actually seen intelligent document management 5 years ago already. So the basic thing is that you extract certain fields from a text, and but your chance of having it correct is never 100%. That's what Pratik was saying, right? In AI, you're never at 100%. So you have to find a way on how to put human in the loop. So in document management, what we used to do is we would set probabilities on specific fields that are important. And if the machine was less certain than 80%, then this record would be sent to a human. Yeah? And then the human would answer or confirm or validate, and then this would become part of the training data. We have to be careful calling anything that has to do with LLMs intelligent, because an LLM can only predict the next token, the next word. there is zero intelligence. It may appear intelligent, but if you start building workflows, like I'm doing now, you see where the issues are, right? In your workflow, I give an example. When I put an AI node in my workflow, I usually spend 3 sentences on to say, you are an expert in this, your task is this. And then I spend 100 lines on exceptions, guardrails, all these things, right? Which is not what we would like to have. But today, this is the reality. Your guardrails, you have to give it examples, good examples, you have to give it bad examples. I mean, it takes a while to get things right. Obviously, I use ChatGPT to generate these prompts. But still, it shows that the models themselves are not intelligent.
So you're saying intelligent document management using extraction models, right?
Yeah, but it's not, yeah, I don't see this as intelligent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, as we say in India, again on a lighter note, artificial intelligence has become artificial. Dumpness or बेवकूफियां मस्तियां अभी भी real है.
Stupidity is real.
Stupidity is real.
Stupidity is real. Yeah, you want me to talk on...
The real example of a workflow or something which is
Correct.
Changed with AI and earlier.
Absolutely. So, I'll give you some of the rudimentary examples. There are applications out there. So let's take a simple example of booking a travel, right? I want to go to Maldives. Earlier I used to call an agent used to go back and forth, give itinerary, all of that.
Sorry, correction. Lakshadweep, no more Maldives.
No, Lakshadweep. So,
Modi ji bolte hain.
Lakshadweep. Thank you for that correction, Gansham. Good one. Very good one. So Lakshadweep ja rahe hain. So today you can just say, I want to go to Lakshadweep. These are the dates. This is the budget. The only other thing that you have to give is OTP, right? So that is agentic AI. So agentic workflows are happening across. You want to book a ticket like this, or you want to take a process, talk of document processing. You got, let's say, in the government files, crores of documents. How do you convert that document through a vision model into a scanned document, and then you can query it and then ask a bunch of questions rather than searching for at least weeks to find that. So that's where AI application, whether or not intelligent, I agree with Mario, right?
But sorry, one more real life example for them. Aadhaar card, KYC जो हम करते हैं आजकल.
Right.
That's what is using this technology, right?
Technology.
Okay.
DG Yatra is using it,
Yes.
right? In the earlier version of DG Yatra, you have to, scan the QR code. Now it's getting, the moment you stand there, it figures out, right? There's definitely AI, but this AI existed earlier. This is not generative AI, right? This AI earlier existed, but now the pace of adoption has increased. The speed and accuracy has also increased. So similarly, physical AI, lot of manufacturing. How many people in manufacturing, right? A few hands on manufacturing. Physical AI, physical robots embodied, right, with AI capabilities will be seen on the shop floors, substantially reducing the cost, right? These are started to happen. I know one of the factories here which is embracing this physical AI. So all these examples across the board are definitely happening.
Good. I heard one good example in Singapore summit and would like to share with you. Somebody has come with a conversational, आपका जो restaurant में हम खाना खाने जाते हैं, right? Conversational is very boring, right? QR code. Conversational. आप बोल दो कि मुझे 2 पाव भाजी और 1 शेक चाहिए. तो you can order बोल के and then उसके बाद अगर वो वहाँ पे सिस्टम पड़ा हुआ है आपके सामने, आप बोर हो रहे हो तो उसको बोलो जोक बताओ. तो दैट सिस्टम जो आप जिससे बुकिंग कर रहे हो वो आपको जोक भी बता देगा. So he actually has come out with that kind of a model. Remember in one of our session, I think this guy, point of sale system, what he was talking about, he was telling I can just conversational, I can say just 2 pav bhajis, because you actually get bored with the QR code, right? He came with that kind of a model. Okay, so we'll open up to the audience. 5 questions, maybe max. We have 2, 3, that's it. Iske baad haath nahi khada karna. Yeah, please. Oh, we have? Okay, good. We have 10 questions. Sir, bade bhaiya ka blessing mil gaya mujhe. Yes, we start from the back. I love backbenchers, by the way, guys. तो वहां से start करेंगे. Sorry, it doesn't mean anything.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks to listening to all of you. It's a very distinguished panel, and especially Ahuja sir, I've been following you since yesterday. You have been fantastic in conducting the sessions. Now, since we have a very distinguished panel of CXOs here, my question is very specific to that. Since, as an organization, how do we prioritize the investment in AI in terms of return ROI? Because the technology is ever changing as compared to the traditional model. So how, as a financial expert or the person who is the in charge of the finance of the company, how will he prioritize the investment in AI?
So you are in finance function?
Yes, I am a chartered accountant.
Chartered accountant,
Yes.
running your own firm?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you want to see how you want to invest in AI?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Anyone has answer? I do some work for Office of CFO. I'm from Deloitte, by the way.
Okay, yeah.
So, finance has been actually laggard in using technology, if you ask me. From 20 plus years I have seen. I'll give you an example. I was part of Deloitte Analytics Institute setting up Deloitte Data Analytics. I don't know, Ajay and others I have shared with you. It took us, me and my boss, my managing partner, it took us almost 9 months to convince my internal Deloitte audit and tax folks, guys, please use data analytics. They were happy with Excel. They were happy with the previous software. So I just want to set the context first. Good that you're asking this question, how do I do it? Especially budgeting, forecasting, planning, predictions about these numbers. I would strongly recommend you should start investing there first. So that, and if you're a chartered accountant serving how many customers, by the way?
Maybe around like 100 plus.
100 plus customers. If I were you, what I will do, I will be the first one to give them their analysis using AI of their industry benchmark. Right. Even if it is a small businessman selling stainless steel, my family does that business, I would go and tell them, look, आपके ये business में, इतवारी में, ये दुकानें हैं, if you can get some information. Right, again, going back to data should be there, right? Give them कि ये benchmark है. And predictive, आपका trends क्या होंगी? Somebody was telling me yesterday, now AI is helping, what should be the next fashion trend, telling to the manufacturing company so that they reduce their time of 3 months lag time to 3 days. तो आप उसमें invest करिए, where you can bring wow factor, even if customer is not expecting from you, forecasting and all that, invest in that. That's my suggestion. Please.
So I would say, as in, it depends on how your organization is structured, right? So at least let me just give you an idea of how we did it so that you can derive this one, right? So we have different budgets for different departments. So there is a tech budget, which obviously involves a lot of R&D effort, right? So idea is that basically how can we do, so this Gen AI and all these other projects also come under the tech R&D budget. And the idea is that how do I spend this budget, and then how do I see that basically what is the cost of doing certain thing right now. Let's say that we say that through an agent who is doing, let's say 20,000 or let's say 500 records a day or something like that, this is the cost. And how do I derive that Gen AI cost to be same or less than that, right? That is the idea. And believe me, basically if you have a use case and you have numbers, when you start, you can negotiate with all the cloud providers who are doing that, and you can definitely bring the cost down also, right, when you show volume. So idea is take it out of your R&D budget, invest in it, get a good team which will do on it. You need to spend time. You need to, as you said, another aspect is that you need to generate this test suite. Eval suits is what we call it, right? Evaluation suite. So the idea is that basically the models are changing so fast that if you have to keep it up with that, if you have to manually start iterating, as I said, the 10,000 emails that we have, right, you cannot do it. So now what we have done is we have a program which runs that 10,000 emails, gives the input to any of the models. ChatGPT 3 came 1 month back. Before that it was 2.5. So 3, you put it on 3, within 5 minutes we have the data. What is this thing? In fact, ChatGPT 3 underperformed for us than 2.5. So immediately we talked to Google and all those things. We said, use the better one, as in, so you use 2.5, as in, that's what it is, as in, so have an eval suit, right? That is very important, actually.
I would just give you one example. जब स्मार्टफोन आया, तो क्या आपने स्मार्टफोन पे इन्वेस्ट करना छोड़ दिया? Every 2 years, I'm sure you would have seen, we used to use that Nokia phone for 3 to 5 years, whereas smartphone we are not even using for more than 2-3 years. And I can guarantee you, you are using less than 30% or 20% features of smartphone. The analogy I'm इसलिए आपको बता रहा हूँ कि आपको इन्वेस्ट करना जरूरी है, कितना आप यूज करोगे, that's one, and then foundational layer of tech should be there already. You should be the first one. Next question, please. We have. Yes, please.
Yes, sir. So I am into IT industries in 20 plus years. So I'm working with persistent systems. So one question is, like you mentioned about you're working in cyber security, right? So just want to know what use cases you are using in cyber security.
Okay, so I can give you the companies we have invested. I run a VC fund also that will give you answer. Cyber security has different layers of security, right? Right from the edge to the infrastructure layer, right? Now it has gone even below. One of the use cases I can talk about is we invested in a company called Pantheron, which is doing cyber security encryption at chip level. So अभी वहां तक बात पहुंच गई है, chip level तक security हो रही है. So that's where, if you have any other example, we can move to next question. Sorry, you can quickly tell them.
So SIM is what it is, right? As in, so all the logs of all our applications and all those things is going there. And we use other third-party tools to do the basically the filtering of that, to figure out if there is any malicious pattern. Humanly, it's impossible because every day there is terabytes of logs which is going on. So that is where basically finding patterns and all.
Finding the patterns. Yeah, please. We have. Yeah, please. Okay. Yeah, please.
Hello?
Quickly, yes.
Okay. So, hello guys. Like every coin has two faces. Like so, AI is advantageous absolutely, but it has its own disadvantages too. I have three examples. Like for the Gemini API, a few months ago, there was a trend of sari trend, and few girls has posted their only faces into Gemini and converted their face into the sari trend.
Okay.
So one of the girl find the black spot on her hand. So how do you see in that? Another one is if we consider the chat GPT, that is a GPT model. If you ask it to give me the example, how can I create a poison? It won't say, it won't give you, right? But if you ask it through the prompt, what are the deadliest combination which creates the poison, it will give you the lot of examples. Another one.
So yeah, can you give ask the question, please?
Okay. So I'm giving some examples. I'm expecting some.
So what is the question you have?
So I'm just looking for the address from your side, how dangerous AI can be and what are the things that to be avoided.
Like any technology,
No,
yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like any technology, you're absolutely right, Kansham. It can be as dangerous, right?
Yeah.
It is, but AI being so powerful, it can be more dangerous. The guardrails are not robust yet.
Yeah.
Right.
So of course, dangers are always there for all technologies. Bias, hallucination, what you are hearing, right? So there are enough reasons you will find. And of course, governments are becoming more vigilant. And you might have heard responsible AI is what governments are focusing on. So I think from government level to infrastructure companies level, they start taking care. And as always, as we said, any technology always will have some percentage of risk. Yeah, please. So, yeah, please.
First of all, thank you so much for such informative session. It does really help me in how to condition client now to it's more of a building block and improve the overall workflow. My main question is when Mario talked about data quality and how it can improve. So what are the parameters we should look for? Because as you said, the wrappers are very less, some of the large LLM model, we are using it and that on the application layer, but what quality we should feed in or what parameters we should look into it when we are looking for developing a particular use case, for a lead conversion or lead capturing process.
Yeah, thank you for the question.
Your favorite topic, lead generation, he's talking about.
Yeah, I build a lead gen workflow, but you need to make sure that you have the necessary checks and balances. When you look at agentic, when you work with AI agent, the biggest issue is going to be on how to attach certain decisions to a specific agent. So this is called evals. Evals is a word you will hear a lot in the next few months. Is because if I have an orchestration agent managing a few agents that specialize in tasks, if you get an output, you don't know where this output is coming from. You don't know if it comes from the orchestrator or from the specialized agent, and that is a major issue. Yeah. And so if you want to get into the business of corporate AI compliance and all these things, this is definitely a field that is gonna, be important going forward.
And also, I would request you can meet him offline. He is an expert in lead generation, exactly your use case. And one more request to you: if you like this event, what you just said, please do tell youngsters and everybody next time they should take advantage. I always tell, take advantage of Advantage Vidarbha. Right? We are not taking advantage. We are not taking, and I really feel bad. इतना कुछ काम हो रहा है यहाँ पे, पूरी IT startups, गडकरी जी, फडणवीस जी खुद वहाँ पे कनेक्टेड है उसमें, राइट? हमारे सब IT के सब वेटरन्स यहाँ बैठे हैं आपके सामने. फ्रेंकली इनको बहुत कम टाइम मिलता है, उसके बाद भी यहाँ आके आपके साथ बात करते हैं. प्लीज डू टेक एडवांटेज ऑफ एडवांटेज विदर्भ. थैंक यू. मुझे कोई इसका अलग से पैसा नहीं मिला है, फ्रेंक, डिस्क्लेमर. डोंट वरी. वी हैव 3 more questions, but we'll change the diversity. Ma'am, please. Sorry, yeah. हम फ्रंट वालों को मौका नहीं देते हैं.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I just have one question. Like, AI was there from 19th century. So I just want to know about AI winters. Like, in short, I just want to know, there were 2 winters that has already happened. Okay, so in 1970s to 1980s, AI winter 1 has happened. And after 1980s to 1990s, AI winter 2 has happened. We already know AI is building, and we are using in every terms, in business, analytics, and every field. But I just want to know that, is there any chance that AI third winter can be a part of it?
Well, by the way, AI winter, yeah, but very good. Really, a round of applause for her.
Good question.
And what's your name, by the way?
I'm Achal Ramteke this side.
आप please इधर आइए. I would really love to give my gift to you. Round of applause for her, please. Please do come. Come in. I'm super happy because you know what? I can guarantee. How many of you know that AI existed for 40, 50 years? Almost 50% people didn't knew. इसका कोई gift नहीं मिलने वाला है. But good question. You have a good study. That's why I'm really appreciating that part. And AI winter, sir will explain what is AI winter and third winter.
Very well said. Since the 1950s, Alan Turing, John McCarthy, Grace Hopper, a bunch of AI scientists have come up with AI. A winter, and then came 2 very long, severe winter. Winter matlab recession. Winter matlab hype, bubble phod dena, right? Just to come back to the topic. And it prolonged for a very long time because AI was on the research labs, right? AI did not reach the customer side of it. AI did not reach the user side of it, use case side of it. And unlike those 2 winters, today AI has entrenched into each and every application. किस किस्म के application? ERP applications में है भी AI, Canva में AI, Make My Trip में AI, सब में AI घुस चुका है, right? So it is very unlikely, largely unlikely to have a winter, largely unlikely to have a bubble, but those would be there in sector by sector or specific use case wise. So my personal take is, there's going to be no winter, but yes, some hypes will be burst in certain use cases.
AI, not only ERP, AI घर घर में पहुंच गया है. Are you married, by the way? Are you married? You're married? कल चल के आपको AI आपको बताएगा कि हस्बैंड के साथ जो पिछली बार झगड़ा हुआ था, इस बार झगड़ा मैं कैसे सलटा हूं उसको. आपको AI बता देगा कि नया वाला पॉइंट बता के घर घर में पहुंच गया AI. Right? AI has reached there.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Good use case.
Good use case. Yeah.
Good use
We
case.
have few more people, please. Yeah.
Yes, I think I will thank her
Yeah, please.
for setting the tone back to whether it's bubble, hype, or sustainable advantage. This is, I think I need feedback in terms of, I think AI from cost perspective or growth perspective, we know there is a sustainable advantage stage it has reached, and it is always going to be there now. It's like before Christ, after Christ. And we have already achieved those sustainable advantage to a greater degree, which I agree with Mario that we have already achieved mostly what LLM could have been done. And in terms of user perspective, like consumers and startups, like new product launch, it is very useful. My question is, AI is already been there like actively in consumer market from last 3 to 4 years. when I am working with Australian clients, is there a direct benefits like there is already accounted for, like Karthikeyan says, 25%, all of us knows the workforce will be reduced. More or less.
So
Question is, if it's transformative, means it's continue to grow exponentially. That's how AI is building its growth map. That's how it's building its investment. But I don't see many example in product companies or any existing businesses which can say concretely that we have achieved 50% benefit in last 3-4 years after implementing a project. Do you know any examples where they have achieved a significant, other than cutting down the resources which we know of 25% or something?
Yeah, thank you. Very interesting question. I must say that even when I talk to large companies, the ROI discussion is not there. The way it works is their boards tell the CEO, you got to do something with AI because everybody's doing it. And then the IT guy will call Microsoft, hey, do you have anything with AI? And, oh yeah, we have Copilot. So this is how it works, right? So the ROI discussion is simply not there. Even large companies. Yeah. Yeah, that's basically.
But the maybe product companies he can tell, or if you have any example. Yeah.
So again, this is you have to look at it different aspects, right? One is that we are not looking at a manpower reduction, right? As in, that is what it is. We are looking at basically timeline condensation is what we are looking, right? As an idea is that my 5-year timeline, can I bring it down to 4-year timeline? But accelerating development is what it is, so that benefits to the customers are there, right? And most of these, when you say SaaS companies and products, what they are looking at it also basically is how to make the life of the end customer better, right? For example, 5 years back, let's say we use Jira and other these things. Audio is also there. So these days, what happens is that you just turn on the audio and then say, create a task and assign to this person with this priority. Earlier, you had to do click 5 times. But then you would have to spend some time, right? But now you have like a personal assistant. It's like so it becomes an executive assistant. It's a co-pilot. Why do they call it a co-pilot? Because main pilot is there and the co-pilot is there to assist him in basically flying the plane, right? So this is where all of the AI is mainly becoming a co-pilot aspect rather than becoming a pilot, right? So the SaaS companies themselves might be seeing some benefit in terms of product acceleration. But mainly I would say that it's in terms of bringing benefits to the end customers and retaining the customer in their own platform rather than the customer moving to some other platform is what. So exponential is, it is linear is what I would say, right? Exponential still needs time is in my opinion.
I think because of lack of time, I think we'll have to. I know there are lots of people who've been putting up hands, but everybody is here. Post the session, if you can sit down and discuss with them, we'll just.
Yeah, done.
Okay.
Sorry.
One last question. Please keep it very, very. Sorry.
This one.
Just last question.
She's already.
Actually, I have come down to Nagpur to attend this event from a different city. So I have been definitely come here to take advantage of this. And I just want to put this question across. And it was really a very nice session from all of you. I'm a regular user of AI and we have seen that it has been revolutionizing the world. And recently what we have also seen, due to that there are layoffs happening. That is not something invisible now. So which is the safest path to go for a sustainable life now? Because we have to see, we have to sustain anyway in this era. So what is the safest path? SaaS is one of those. I am also like.
So are you saying what is the safest career? Is it or?
Yeah. Actually, SaaS is something.
No. Your question is it about career or is it about
career? And I'm into AI for business. I'm asking in this aspect only.
Yeah.
So business, you can touch upon SaaS, you can touch upon fintech or something. So in this era, what is the safest path to go as in the career as well, and if you are into a business as well. Yeah. If you are leveraging AI, because that is actually the ultimate option.
Okay. See, I think it's a false projection, right? As in, people are not being laid off because of AI, right? what happened is you'll have to look at it over the last 5 years. What happened is that during COVID time, there was an unprecedented hiring which happened with respect to how basically AI or probably online people would move away from basically working from office or something to away to remote and etc. It's basically a normalization of that which is happening over the years, right? It's not because of AI, right? The second thing is that if you ask basically whether I have to change my career goals because of AI, it's absolutely wrong, right? Because as I said, AI is not going to replace you. AI is going to assist you. So idea is that basically whatever you're doing, it will help you to do better, but you have to build your own foundation. As in, you cannot be a slave to the AI. AI has to be, you have to be the master. AI systems have to be basically under your command, right? It has always to be your co-pilot. It cannot become the pilot. So idea is that build your foundation. So all the students, everything, engineering, degrees, everything is still absolutely very critical, because that is what lays the foundational layer and the thought process and all those things, which has been there age old. It still retains as it is. Only thing is that basically using that knowledge, now you can leverage assistance much more at a very cost-effective thing which you did not have earlier. So your career goals remain the same, basically, right? Is what.
You have something to share?
I think, we are just going to, stop here.
Yes.
But the fact remains, friends, I mean, this discussion, I'm sure you can see, whether we call it, as we choose it, to say, hype, bubble, or sustainable advantage, AI is going to stay. There's going to be a lot of change, a lot of development. There will be, ROIs which will be discussed in the future. We are at a stage where, building blocks are just being put in stage. The world will change. We run a healthcare technology company. Somebody had asked the question on ROIs. We are seeing aggressive change and help coming in, with the deployment of AI. There is something called as, so we work in the healthcare space for the US markets, for the financial, outlays. And there's something called as a first cost clean ratio. We have seen immense amounts of reduction. What used to be, a rejection of about 12 to 14% in the industry, let's say 2022, 23, because of the judicious deployment of technology and billions of claims which have gone into the engine to, create a smart workflow, we have been able to bring it down to, less than 3%. Now that's straight ROI. There was a segment, where we had a deployment of about 600 personnel, but very simple case, put into use, mastered and, created intelligent over a period of time. We bring it down to, about 35, 36 people. So there is benefits. There is a lot that can be done. Yet it is in infancy stage. What used to be, very, very simple chatbot replacement of people is now getting into predictive intelligence. I think, that's where the beauty is. What we are now working on is to see how we can prevent rather than, be reactive and, solve the issues. So thank you very, very much. I would love to, please put your hands together for this lovely, lovely panel. I think it's been a lovely, lovely session here. Thank you so much all for your time. We really appreciate you flying all the way from Singapore and, Bangalore and, Rama, you've been wonderful. Ghanshyam, you make us proud. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
एक जाते जाते AI का एक और लाइटर नोट बताऊंगा आपको. भुवनेश्वर में मैंने पूछा, somebody was talking कि AI का मॉडल can predict this financial fraud and all that. So मैंने उनको पूछा कि अगर मेरी वाइफ पिछले 3 दिन से 20-20 हजार की शॉपिंग कर रही है कार्ड पे, can your AI मॉडल predict कि ये फ्रॉड हो रहा है और वाइफ को बताया कि फ्रॉड हो रहा है? तो उनका आंसर था नहीं, हम आपको बोलेंगे कि आप फ्रॉड कर रहे हो अगर आप वाइफ को रोक रहे हो शॉपिंग करने से. So with that note, I will thank you.
Thank you to all the Extreme Hour panel dignitaries for sharing their valuable insights, their time and the experience during today's discussion. As a token of appreciation, we would love to and like to felicitate our panel dignitaries with the mementos. And for that, may I request Mr. Vinod Tambi, EC member, founder of Exelon, to please felicitate our dignitaries with the help of mementos on the stage, please. Firstly, I request once again Mr. Tambi to please felicitate with the memento co-founder and CTO from Credit Beat, Shri Karthikeyan K on the stage, please. Ji, sir. Ji. Oh, we have a jade plant as well. Yes. Give it a huge round of applause for our esteemed guest on the stage. Once again, I request Mr. Tambi to please felicitate with the token of appreciation as a memento to our next dignitary, managing partner from Think Kuwait, and today is our moderator, a very energetic personality, Mr. Ghanshyam Ahuja, on the stage, please. Yes. Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable time. We have a founder and CEO from Rainmaker SG. I request to Mr. Tambi once again to please felicitate with the help of memento as a token of appreciation to Mr. Mario on the stage, please. Thank you so much for your time, sir. May I request once again Mr. Vinod Tambi to please welcome and felicitate by the help of memento to our CEO, Immerse AI, Bharatiya GPT, Mr. R. Ramakrishnan on the stage, please. And lastly, I request once again Mr. Tambi to please welcome and felicitate our one of the very esteemed guests, Mr. Ajay Kapoor, on the stage with the memento, please. Yes. The EC member, convener IT, and the president and founder of Accent Business Solutions. Thank you so much. Please stay forward toward the one group photograph on the stage. Yes. I request Mr. Shailesh and Mr. Akash to please be on the stage for the group photograph ahead. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, each and everyone. This is Anchor Ankita More in front of you, and very warm welcome in Khasdar Audyogik Mahotsav Advantage Vidarbha 2026 with the theme of Empowering Growth, organized by AID Vidarbha's Mega Industrial Expo, Business Conclave and Investment Summit. We are done with the first panel discussion, and after that we are moving toward the next panel discussion by 2 p.m. onwards. Right now we are moving toward the lunch time, and the second panel discussion by the 2 p.m. onwards on the topic of GCC from policy to long-term value creation, creating an enabling urban environment. This session is going to be from 2 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. onwards. Thank you so much. I request to each and every students, faculty members, entrepreneurs, and the guests to please be here before 2 p.m. onwards. Thank you so much and enjoy your day, and please kindly visit because this is Vidarbha's Mega Industrial Expo.